Yo, what's up everyone? We're less than 1 month away from the release of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, which ultimately means that Modern Warfare 2 is on its last breath. Now, I'm super excited for Modern Warfare 3, however, we're not there yet, so I figured what better time than now to end up getting into a Modern Warfare 2 review and basically breaking down the year of Call of Duty that we were given by Infinity Ward. So yeah, without further ado, let's go and hop straight into it. Alright, so let's go ahead and answer the grand question. Is Modern Warfare 2 as dog shit as everyone makes it out to be on social media, Twitter, all that kind of stuff? And in my opinion, yes, it is pretty damn dog shit. Now, before I sat down to record this video and make my review for MW2, before I started looking at the game from a critical standpoint, I wasn't looking at it from an objective point of view. My experience with the game wasn't bad. It was actually pretty good because I went into the game with zero expectations. And I'm not going to say they blew, my expectations out of the water because I had none. And there was nothing really impressive that they did. But me personally, with Vanguard last year, I didn't play the game that much at all. I played it for like a week when it dropped, and then I didn't play it until the rank play came out. By that point, my hype for the game was long dead, so I just didn't play that much like at all. I played it for like a day and that's it. So yeah, I dropped Vanguard so fast. I put in like no time into the game. Quite honestly, it was so boring. I didn't give a fuck about it, which is pretty sad because Call of Duty is my main game franchise that I'm always looking forward to. I'm always keeping tabs on the new Call of Duty, the leaks, all that kind of stuff. And with Vanguard, I found myself enjoying watching it more than I did playing. Like for instance, the CDL that year was actually, it was okay. I just honestly didn't care about the game. And with Modern Warfare 2, when this game released, it had been a very long time since I actually played Call of Duty. Because like I said, I didn't play Vanguard. I didn't play any other COD game in that time span from Vanguard to when MW2 released. So when this game dropped, I was actually pretty excited. And I found myself having fun, not because the game was good, but because it had been so long since I had actually played a COD game. And Modern Warfare 2 did like the bare minimum to keep me playing it for like about a month. And it's not even like I was camel grinding or anything like that. It was just a new Call of Duty experience that was just hitting the spot for what it was. And after that first month of the game pretty much passed, I found myself not playing shit at all. I wasn't playing any games. I just get home from work, I just scroll TikTok, all that brain rot, and I had no incentive to play MW2. There was nothing fun or enticing about it. But since I had fun that first month, in my head, I'm thinking to myself like, yeah, MW2 isn't that bad of a game because, personally, I was having fun. But it wasn't until I started looking at this game from a critical standpoint that I came to the realization that I wasn't having fun because the game was good. Like I mentioned, it's because I hadn't played it for so long. So now that I'm doing my review, I want to go ahead and say that the only reason that I came back to play this game was because rank play dropped and Treyarch actually snapped. They did their thing. And, we'll get into the hackers and the cheaters and all that kind of shit, later. But rank play for what it was the saving grace for me personally in this game because I'm not playing pubs. Pubs are boring. They're dog shit in this game. But we're going to get into the good and the bad a little bit later in the video. But yeah, I just want to go and set the basis for why I consistently played it, I guess. Alright, so now I want to go ahead and get into the couple things that Modern Warfare 2 actually did good. So first and foremost, I feel like the gunplay within the game is actually pretty damn good. It's always pretty satisfying to use a weapon that has been leveled up and built the way that you want it to be built because by that point, there's a lot less visual recoil. The gun is bouncing less and it's always satisfying using a weapon that beams because that's what Call of Duty should be about, using a weapon that you're having fun using. And I'll be the first to say it, yeah, this game when you're level 1 with a weapon, it's miserable. The gun has so much visual recoil. They're random. I feel the recoil, it's not even like a skill thing because the gun just bounces and moves all weird. Your screen is shaking. It's just not enjoyable at all. But once you actually get your attachments, like for instance in rank play, which is the game mode that I played the most, using the attack and the Vaznev was always fun. Even though we only used 2 weapons, then eventually we started using the MP7. It was always satisfying to load into a game, even though I was using the same pretty much 3 weapons every single game. I feel like that's pretty telling of just how good the gunplay was. So at the bare minimum, the maps were not bad. Specifically for competitive, I'm going to be referring to comp a lot because personally I didn't play multiplayer a ton. Yeah, I played some pubs, so I mean I could talk about those maps as well because I feel like they were pretty good for public match. I didn't really find myself dreading playing on a match except for like that car one, the border crossing one. I forgot what it was called. That map is terrible. All those cars, the explosions, oh my goodness, what were they cooking? That was a miserable experience. Anyways, for the most part the maps were pretty good. Like specifically loading into an Albagra hardpoint was always like oh, let's fucking go, we get to play on this map. Like it was exciting. Modern Warfare 2 did that, but I feel like that's the bare minimum. At the very least, a Call of Duty game should have some good gunplay and good maps because those two things go a long way. And Modern Warfare 2, they executed on that at least pretty decently for competitive, and multiplayer wasn't that far behind anyways, so it is what it is. I mean, comparing these maps to the predecessor for this game, MW 2019, I mean, think about the maps that we had in that game. We had the Euphrates Bridge, we had Piccadilly. I can't even remember some of these maps. They just weren't memorable like that. But we had a lot of terrible maps that were huge, Battlefield-esque. In this game, they certainly did go away from those large maps. There's still some big ones, but for the most part, they're pretty enjoyable. They're not bad. I mean, Hotel on this game isn't bad. Albagra is pretty good. El Asilo plays okay-ish. For control and search, it is what it is. You know, it's not the worst. Like, I don't dread playing on that map. Certainly people would disagree, some would agree. It is what it is. And also the events that dropped on Modern Warfare 2, like the Boys collab, the haunting of Al Mazrah, I feel like those events were pretty cool, and it certainly did incentivize me to play the game. And I did play the game during those events. Like for the Boys, I love the show, and the camo, the reactive camo that they brought out for the challenges during that event was actually really nice, and I grinded pubs for that, and it was actually really enjoyable. It's a shame that they didn't do a lot of that kind of stuff. I feel with every single season that came out, they should have had something that was to that extent. I mean, yeah, they had their seasonal challenges for camos, but it just didn't feel as fun, or they didn't execute as well as they did with the Boys collab than with this haunting of Al Mazrah event that they got going on, because these are interesting. But outside of that, pretty much the only good things that Modern Warfare 2 did, and albeit those are like the important things for the game, because ultimately it's the gameplay that I care about the most. Oh, also the visibility is pretty good as well. The color scheme that they used for the game, like there were no issues spotting people for the most part. It could have been better, yes, but it certainly wasn't like a Call of Duty Ghosts, Vanguard, or an Infinite Warfare. It wasn't like as bad as those. If anything, it was actually pretty decent in my opinion. But yeah, that pretty much does it for the good. Now let's go ahead and get straight into the bad. Not a lot of good, guys.
I already know you a bitch, my nigga. I'm stacking the bread like the chips, my nigga. Please come get your bitch, my nigga.
Great cheating. I'm hard aimbotting. Do you think I care about a PC check? Be so for real with yourself, man. My God, give me a break. Dude, playing against the worst cheaters I've ever played in my life.
Bro, this is just fucking pathetic. Alright, so by this point of the gameplay, this is a different gameplay. This is actually a ranked match in which we were having like a hack off. We had one dude on the team that was crying and complaining because he didn't get paired up with other hackers. And the enemy team, they're a 4-stack of cheaters. Like all of them are cheating, hard aim button, spin button, all that good stuff. And it was pretty impressive because the hacker on my team was actually raging at us for not cheating. He was begging us to go in and bait for him. And it was actually really hilarious. I couldn't take it serious. This is the last game of ranked play that I actually remember playing where I actually was trying to just hop on and have fun. After this, it completely killed my drive and my want to go out and play the game. So this is just unacceptable. It's pathetic how little Activision and Infinity Ward actually care about the state of their game, because ranked play was the saving grace for a lot of people. It actually revitalized the player base. There were so many pro players and all these people that started streaming ranked play, but eventually a lot of them just stopped streaming because there were way too many hackers. It's unplayable. It is legitimately unplayable, and the fact that this is a title in 2023 that is being affected this hard by hackers, it's honestly sad, because this is something that you'd expect to see in like a 10-year-old Call of Duty game, right? Because in ranked play, I promise you, if you're like above Crimson, Iridescent, all that stuff, you're gonna get a hacker like at least every other lobby, at least from my experience. So moving on from just the hackers in ranked play, I want to go ahead and talk about how little replayability there actually is within this game, which is just bad. I feel like if you're paying $70 for a game, why do we have a battle pass that you have to pay for? You have to pay for the battle pass after paying your $70, and not only that, but they have an item shop where they expect you to buy skins, and it works because a lot of people are buying these skins, they're buying the battle pass. The fact that there isn't prestiging anymore is so disappointing, because prestiging for me was like a really fun part of COD, and it's something so simple, it's something so unique to the franchise that I just can't wrap my head around why they decided it was a good idea to take it out. It never made sense to me. It's such a good feature that incentivizes players to keep grinding and leveling up and actually grind the game out, but having a season level cap is just so dumb to me, because there's just nothing to grind for. Once you hit that level cap, the few times that I actually grinded the game out enough to reach that point where I couldn't progress anymore in my levels, it happened like once or twice, but it just feels so pointless to keep playing the game. I mean, multiplayer in particular is so negatively affected by skill-based matchmaking to the point where pub stomping is nearly impossible. Well, not really, it's still easy, right? But there's just so much cheese and bullshit that the game puts against you. Like for instance, if you're a good player, they're gonna pair you with really bad ones because they expect you to carry them, and they expect like an even matchup between the teams. But that's a bad formula, because your teammates are gonna be getting pooped on. They're gonna feed the enemy score streaks and all that. And when the fact that so many people aren't even good, they're just using like shotguns and just really overpowered weapons, and that's how they're getting their kills. It's really sad, because with skill-based matchmaking, you end up facing a lot of those players, so it just feels so soulless and boring, especially with the way that the game is developed. We're missing so many simple features that just made Call of Duty so iconic. For instance, the combat record, we haven't seen anything like a refined combat record system pretty much since like Black Ops 1. I feel like the menu UI is so pathetic, it's so hard to navigate through. Imagine new player trying to navigate through that menu. I mean, dude, we're a year into this game's life cycle and I still get lost trying to create a private lobby. You know, there's just so much clutter to navigate through that it's actually pretty sad. It almost feels like Infinity Ward or like Activision paid somebody a ton of money, the Hulu UI team, to actually create the menus for this game, and they invested so much money and they did such a shit job. And they're at the point where, well, we know the menu sucks ass, but we kind of paid a lot of money for these people to make it, so we kind of gotta just stick it out, you know? We just gotta ride it through, fellas. And it's pretty sad. It's just so apparent that they care so little about the state of the game, with the hackers not making an effort to actually fix the menu UI, not adding simple features like a good combat record. There's just nothing satisfying about playing regular multiplayer. There's no incentive, like I said, to rank up. There's no prestiging. It just doesn't feel fun. There's no real gratification from grinding the game out that way. They want your gratification to come from completing the battle pass, and it's so obvious. Like, I'm not buying the battle pass, okay? Even as cool as this most recent battle pass looks like with the spawn and all that, I'm just not investing more money into the game. Paid $70 for it. I don't want to pay more money for content hidden behind a paywall. It just feels like a scam. So overall, was Modern Warfare 2 the worst COD ever? That's debatable in my opinion. I feel like we've had worse. Now, don't get it twisted. They certainly didn't deliver with a good Call of Duty, but in my opinion, it isn't the worst that we've had. And is it worth the $70 price tag? I feel like it isn't. I feel like I'm getting cheated. You know, there's so much content hidden behind the battle pass, stuff that you have to pay for to actually unlock, when I feel like it should just be in the game already. And then also they have an item shop. I feel like having a battle pass and an item shop is acceptable for games that are actually free, not for games where you have to pay $70 for. And I know that they have Warzone, which is free to play, but all the ranking up for your weapons, all that stuff is happening in multiplayer, so it just doesn't make sense to me. Well, it does, because I know it's a big cash grab, but I feel cheated. Even though I got 6 days playtime, I still feel like it wasn't worth the $70 price tag, and I certainly did get my money's worth, but at the end of the day, I still feel cheated. So overall, if I had to give this game a rating, I'd probably rate it a 6 out of 10, maybe like a high 5, like a 5.7. But yeah, if anybody stumbled across this video and actually made it this far into it, I want to go ahead and thank you. I doubt anybody's gonna stumble upon it, but you know, in the off chance that somebody does ever, thank you for watching, and I'm boofamania. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Deuces.